Alright, so here we've got some computer parts and some other stuff, and so let's see what's in some of these boxes. Okay, this is an 8-bit DOE controller that's meant to go with my Super NT. This is the Super Famicom style controller, which is not my preference. It does have nice colors on the buttons, but the top buttons are convex instead of concave like they are on the North American Super Nintendo. Let's grab this here for comparison. You see the X and Y buttons on a good old Super Nintendo controller are concave, but the three styles that they had in stock, I wanted to get 3 different styles so that I'm not mixed, so keep track of who's playing what. So one of them is going to be a Super Famicom style. Okay, box number 2. The point of this purchase was to get this official blue microphone pop filter for the Yeti over there. So we'll be trying that out in the coming days. And of course, you know, to get free shipping, you end up buying a bunch of other crap. And so here, well, Tragically Hip fans, Mr. Zink out there, if you're watching, I'm sure this is probably pretty good. Has all the hip hits, so if you can call them that. But anyway, but no, I'm looking forward to listening to that, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos with a pop filter so that I can say P's and B's with impunity. Alright, so that's attached. I don't have time to test this out right now, but you'll hear how it sounds the next time I do a recording. No, and yeah, I got a load of wash going and it's in the spin cycle, so you probably hear that. I'm also going to let that controller charge for a bit, using the handy USB port on my stereo. Because you could use the computer too, but anyway. But if I put it in the computer, it'd probably like try to set it up as a controller or something, and I just want to charge. Also, as part of this project, my SNES Classic has migrated to the book and game shelf because I'm not going to need it anymore. Everything that could have played is playable on the Super NT. Plus, I mean, with a flash cart for games that I don't personally own. But also, oh, what happens else? The SD to SNES takes care of just about everything except for one game that I could find that I might have wanted to play, so I'm getting a repro of that one, and we'll see when it comes. So yeah, I used to have... I did have it modded to like put extra games on it, but I've reset it back to its factory software so that it just acts like a regular SNES Classic does. I should also say, like, it's cute and you get 2 of these controllers, and but it only outputs 720p. It's pretty basic. And it's software emulation. Okay, that's all done, and now you can listen to this instead. Look at it go! Oh, there goes the black sock again. Okay, we got 3 more boxes. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What have we got here? Gigabit Switch! Sweet! Alright, so this is probably gonna go on my desk or here. Probably gonna go here, there's more space. So the idea is I'm gonna have the switch run into this, and that's like a Wi-Fi repeater there. And the only stuff I want actually using the Wi-Fi is like phones and stuff. This computer I have wired in by Ethernet over there, where there's probably better reception anyway. And yeah, so I'll plug everything into the switch. It'll just go to the gigabit port on that little Wi-Fi repeater. I don't have my own internet connection. I just use the Wi-Fi that's part of living here, so works for me. Oh boy, Cable Geeker Professional cable manufacturer. And we get a beautiful assortment of networking cables. Love it, I love it, I love it. I think these are like 10 feet, and yeah, different colors, so easy to keep them straight. So just the perfect thing for the home. And in keeping with the I want to make it free shipping, we've got Folk of the 80s Part 3 by Men Without Hats, which is an amazing album. These bands from Montreal, I believe. I mean, they were huge in the 1980s. But yeah, these are some great songs. I mean, long too. I mean, you know, No Dancing was never going to fit on the radio. But yeah, these are just amazing songs. You can listen to the whole album on YouTube Music, I think. But anyway, this will go nicely in the car. If they tragically missed any hits, well, let me know. I think I got everything I'm looking for. Music at Work's pretty good. 38 years old is kind of sad. Blow at High Dough, 50 Mission Cap. Fully Completely is not one of my favorites, but no, but Fireworks, I love that song. Little Bones is a good one. Yeah, should be lots of good stuff to listen to. It was Mother's Opinion I was thinking of, 7 minutes and 49 seconds. Excellent song, but not going to go on the radio. I always feel bad about throwing out rap when there's like stickers on it, but it's like it's not really designed to be able to be saved. If they did that, they'd put like another backing on it and make it so that you could just peel this off and then stick it like in a designated part inside the case. Which is what they really should do. You know, for people who aren't gonna like leave their music sealed, but they don't want to like throw stuff out, you know what I mean? Well, it did peel off, so I'll find something else to do with it though, because it's not, there's no like blank white spaces I can find in either the booklet or on the case. Alright, I'm just gonna start doing this, and when I have enough of them to fill out a sheet of paper, I'll stick it on the wall. I like this already. It was on for a good price. People are already starting to get 10 gig home networking gear, and so this is just 1 gig. But I mean, considering my internet connection or lack thereof, this is going to be plenty, and plenty for, you know, I'm not doing like NAS attached video editing or anything, so gigabit is fine. And yeah, it's even got different colors for the different links, which would be a boon where I work, because we've got some of the longer cable runs where the crimping wasn't so great. We had, you know, you're only getting like 100 and sometimes even 10 megabits per second, but you can't tell. It's just like, unless you actually like go to that machine and you know, do an IF config or IP config or something, or list hardware LSHW class network or something. Like you have to what I'm trying to say is you have to figure out on the machine how fast it's connected. But the lights will just tell you. If it's green, it's gigabit and you're good to go. You're getting the most you could possibly get. Or if it's orange, it's 10 or 100. And that could be because it's an older adapter. Not every adapter supports gigabit. You know, a lot of them, you know, not too many years ago, they'll only do 100, aka fast Ethernet. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I guess D-Link, you know, bought these devices, or bought the company that made them, because it's not D-Link branded itself on the box, but, well, no, it's D-Link branded on the box, but not on the box, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway. Wow, this is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Look at this. Fits right in your hand. Yeah, it won't take up hardly any room at all. So this can go pretty well anywhere. And then you look at the back and it becomes clear. It's only a little bit wider than, you know, 8 ports side to side. So that's pretty good. You could also mount this thing if you wanted to. There's little holes for that. So the Switch came with rubber feet, so I'm going to put those on. Hey, free baggie! There we go. My D-Link is now properly clawed. Okay, so here's our Switch. Not the Nintendo Switch, but just a network Switch. And that's all fine. And it looks like the controller is pretty much done charging because it's got a blue light flashing on our left there as opposed to the light flashing on the right that it was doing earlier. So let's give it a try. Okay, so I pushed the red button on the receiver, but I have no idea what I need to do to sync this thing. I mean, oh, now it's not flashed in a blue light anymore. It was before. There it goes. It's doing something. Huh. To hold like select or something? I tried start. Oh, I think it was select. I think we got it. So, yeah, we've got activity. All right, let's run this and see if we can do Mario World. Start and select seem all right. Okay, what am I gonna do? Hold this. Oh, I'll play with one hand, I guess. Yeah, okay. See how far I can get with one hand. Whee! Do I want what's in that box? No, let's just keep going. Boop! Okay. I think that's enough for the one-handed play experiment. We've demonstrated that it works, and it feels alright. So, on to the next stuff. Now, I would like to add that I'm not super fussed about it being a wireless controller. I'd really just as soon have corded controllers, but getting good quality corded Super Nintendo controllers these days is expensive. So this is one of my, OG Super Nintendo controllers. Actually, this was the Player 2 controller. My Player 1 controller has a start button that's really hard to push, and the R button is kind of weak in it. So I play with I play these days with the second controller that came with my system. I mean, there was no difference, but there was one I always had in port 1 and one I always had in port 2, and then the port 1 wore out a lot more than this one. Oh, I wanted to say about those controllers. Apparently, the Super Nintendo controllers that came with the smaller Super Nintendo towards the end of the Super Nintendo life cycle, the ones that came with that unit apparently are very high quality controllers, but I've not tried those in recent memory. So yeah, let's open these boxes. Okay, I'm starting with this in-win box, and this stuff I got from Vugo, V-U-U-G-O, and they had lower prices, although they did charge for shipping, but they didn't charge too much, so let's haul this out. And it's a computer case. Meant to fit I guess ITX size is what it is. I never know what all those letters and stuff are, but yeah, and it's got a power supply built in, so hopefully that's going to be less jigging around. So here's what the front looks like. We got our USB 3 ports, front panel audio, and what this computer's job is going to be is to basically be my PlayStation, but, digital and with, sprite, whatchamacallit. Those things that got textures, straight textures that aren't all crooked, because the PlayStation doesn't do very good at putting straight textures onto polygons. Although, really, I wouldn't care so much about that, except the CD drive in my PlayStation has just about given up the ghost. They only really last so long, and This has gotten possibly tens of thousands of hours of use. Boy, it's been great. So I'm gonna have to like send it away to be repaired or something. I don't know, but I would like to have it working again someday. It's um, it's also hard to get digital video out of an OG PlayStation. There's mods that people are working on to do HDMI, but it's kind of it's. I don't think any of them would work with my particular PlayStation. There's so many board revisions and different ways they all get to the same thing, but to the end user. But the internals differ, and that makes a difference in the kind of modding strategy you're going to take. So I'm going to put the computer case there where the PlayStation was, and I think I've got just about enough depth. It might hang off an inch or two, but that's all right. And yeah, so I another thing that the PlayStation does is resolution switching inside games, and it wreaks havoc with digital equipment. You just lose your sync, and so if you go to a menu in Chrono Cross, like, and I've got, let's say I've got a AV multi to RGB to component to HDMI converter, and there's a cable for sale that does that, called the Rad 2X. And you see the picture on your screen. You're in Chrono Cross. You go to the menu, sync drops, music cuts out, everything. Wait a couple seconds, and then the menu comes on. So and Chrono Cross is one of my favorite games. So that was a deal breaker instantly. So yeah, I'm gonna go the emulation route because it's just not quite there yet for getting, in my opinion, for easily getting digital video out of an OG PlayStation. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna fit just fine, no problem at all. There's like a half inch on either end hanging off, so that'll do. And I got my network and my HDMI ready to go. Now I'm only gonna run this system at 1080p, strictly 1080p max, because that's all my capture card can take. So yeah, this guy is going to be it's going to be my PlayStation replacement, and it's also going to play Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9 on Steam. I hope it performs well. I was able to actually play 7 and 8 fine on one of these like little $100 computers from China. The problem is once you get into Final Fantasy 9, you got video at a higher resolution. Like the FMV sequences on the Steam version of Final Fantasy 9 are higher res, and so you need more horsepower to push it. And then the other thing about that is emulation. Yeah, the PlayStation emulation performance is very poor. Old PC games fine, but PlayStation emulation not so hot. But on this, should be good. So let's see what parts I'm going to put in it. So this was kind of how I was hoping to spend Christmas, but it came a little after Christmas, and plus I had Christmas to deal with, so I'm not too concerned about that. But okay, here's the I hope this works centerpiece, the Ryzen 5 3400G. So this is very similar to the 2400G I have, but just like the next series. So I think this is a Zen Plus part, where the 2400G is a OG Zen part, and the other Ryzen 3000 series are on Zen 2. So this 3400G is like between the 2400Gs and the latest Ryzens. And something about this, like it's got integrated graphics, which is all I need, because like I do not play 3D PC games, so this will be just fine. And so quad core multi-threading, and decent clock, so it should be fine for emulating PlayStation. And we have 1 terabyte M.2, so that'll hold lots of PlayStation CD rips. I've got my my collection there. It takes a long time to rip a CD, even on a Blu-ray reader. It's quite a while, but anyway, so I got everything I want to play ripped, and I'll make this way to this drive, and I believe, yeah, it's NVMe M.2, so that's great. I mean, this is just great. I mean, you really don't need to buy a hard drive anymore. Like, you can, like, if you're, yeah, like, you can just get a couple of these if you need to, or they even come in 4 terabytes, but that kind of gets kind of expensive. But yeah, unless you're running unless you have like massive storage needs, you don't need to buy hard drives anymore. Okay, and finally, I think this is just the one final part here. So this is actually like this PC build is literally 4 parts because the case comes with a power supply. And there's integrated graphics. So basically all I need is processor, graphics, case, power supply, storage, and a motherboard. 4 parts. Like, just amazing. So this is maybe a bit of a step down from the motherboard I got for that one, because I think that's like an X series, and at the time I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with the Ryzen CPU exchange program, like to get a cheapo APU in the mail from AMD and then send it back to them again after I've updated the BIOS so that it can run newer chips. So this says AMD Ryzen Desktop 2000 ready. I'm hoping it will just work out of the box with this 3400G. So that's going to be something we're going to find out, because that 3400G is the same architecture as these 2000 series chips. So I'm just gonna hope. But if it doesn't work right out of the box, we can do the BIOS update thing. Or what I could do is I could do a switcheroo. I could take the 2400G out of there, run that in here, because that would work out of the box, and put the 3400G I just bought in there. And then because I've updated the BIOS on that to support the 3000 series, I'm on the latest BIOS that they recommend for Raven Ridge APUs. So yeah, now I'm not actually gonna run this tonight. It's kind of getting late. I think I'm gonna save this power on test to see if it'll take my chip for later. And I mean, who knows, maybe they've updated the BIOS, even though they haven't updated the box. So I don't know. And I mean, I could even switch the whole, like I could even take the motherboard out of there, and I could go any way I want to. I've got that flexibility. This AM4 socket by AMD is great because it just supports so many of these generations of Ryzen chips. But the downside is you sometimes need to update your BIOS. Anyway, so I think that will do for this evening. Maybe I'll just open this to see what we get inside. We get nice red memory, nice red GPU slot, which I won't be using. It doesn't have like an integrated I/O shield, which is not my preference. So it's going to have one of those like face plates that you stick in the case and then stick this through the holes in it. So I don't much care for that, but anyway, we'll get into this in our next episode. So long.